5,000 metres, 12.5 laps of the track. Great test for Steve Ovett. As Brendan Foster suggests, they're going to have to take him on in the middle of the race. Test his stamina, test his courage. Well, one doesn't expect it to be too quick, too early, but I think somebody's got to kick it in right in the middle of the race.
Well, the Canadian team manager was saying that if the pace was slow, then some of the Canadians who are not quite in the same class as Walker and Ovett will do something about the pace. But immediately the first half lap, about 32, 33 seconds, which is okay pace. I'm interested to see Nat Muir there with a headband in 5th place, just behind Jack Buckner, the Englishman, and Tim Hutchings right next to him, the three of them together in 4th, 5th and 6th place, because Nat Muir is the second fastest 5,000 metre runner in this field, and if he can get it right on the day, and this could be the day when Nat finally gets rid of all the problems that he's had before, gets rid of his ups and downs, and comes out and runs like he did that night in Oslo when he ran 13:17. And he's prepared for this one meticulously. He stayed right out of the village. He came in the other day to collect his vest and his number, and he disappeared. Nobody saw him till he arrived on the warm-up track just half an hour ago.
First lap completed 65 seconds. That's around a 13:20 pace. The leader is Kerry Roger. We'll just leave the 5,000 metres in this early stage for the moment and go to the high jump,
where Jeff Parsons is about to attempt the new height of 2.24 meters. Only two men left in, himself and the defending champion Milt Ottey. He's the first to attempt the new height, 7.425, and it will give him an advantage if he can get it on first strike. Jeff Parsons of Scotland. It's a good jump.
He enjoyed it, the supporters enjoyed it, and meanwhile on the track there's been a big break already. They've just completed 2 laps, and Rob Lonergan of Canada has gone right away. He's a 13:34 man, and he got dissatisfied with the pace. It wasn't a particularly fast lap there, but it was a 66-second lap. But the last 100 there, he ran fairly quickly of that lap and got away. So Lonergan leads. McCloy now in 2nd place. In 3rd place is Jack Buckner. 4th is Muir. 5 is McColgan of Northern Ireland. In 6th place, Kerry Roger. 7th is Mambasasa of Malawi, with Tim Hutchings alongside him. And Steve Ovett is at the back of that pack, with Walker following him. A couple of runners there in the background are 2 lads from Guernsey who are a long way behind already.
Well, there's Steve Ovett being tracked by John Walker, who's followed him for the whole of the race. They've just ignored what's gone on up the front with the 2 Canadians. I suggested that the Canadians might take the pace out if they felt it was slow. I didn't expect them to accelerate as quickly as that, and that's not a sensible thing to do. You should, if you're going to move quickly, you should pour it on and take it gradually, because it just stays in your legs if you accelerate very, very quickly like that. But you can see the 2 of them, he's looking for his teammate, glancing over his shoulder. Now he's going to help him. Now the rest of them better start having a look at this.
They should, because the race isn't fast. That last lap, once they settle down again to an even speed, was only 65 seconds, so they're not running anything sensational. McCloy's taking it on. He's not the most graceful-looking runner, but he's very strong indeed. McCloy, who ran in the 10,000 metres and finished in 4th place. Followed by Lonergan and Terry Green of Northern Ireland. Tim Hutchings is in 4th place. McColgan of Northern Ireland is 5th.
Well, I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind being one of those Canadians out there myself right now, because I think if I was in that position, I'd start running for home, because there's only 8.5 laps to go, and I bet Tim Hutchings is thinking the same. If he'd been able to sneak up with those 2 Canadians and get away from the main group, I think Tim might have put his head down and made a charge for the finish. I'm sure Nat Muir and Jack Buckner are thinking the same, but you've noticed they've accelerated. They've seen that gap was a little bit more than they felt comfortable with, and I think they've decided, and they've been spurred on by Tim Hutchings, who's in 4th place there, followed closely by Jack Buckner, and they're beginning to think the race is on. But I'm pleased these 2 Canadians have done this, because this is what this race needed, and you can see the pace is starting to pick up a bit, because they're being split There's little gaps appearing right through the field, and we've got a racing prospect now. We didn't expect it to develop quite this way, but this will do for starters.
The last lap, 65 seconds, so they've run 4 laps there in about 4:21. That's in the mid-1320s, so it's not very high class, but they've gradually worked their way back to the 2 leaders. Lonergan and McCloy of Canada, then Terry Green, who's brought the pack back. Tim Hutchins in 4th place, McColgan of Northern Ireland 5. 6th place Paul Williams now, the Canadian record holder, going through. 7th is Jack Buckner, 8th is Nat Muir. Then in 9th place, Burridge of New Zealand. Just behind Burridge, Steve Ovett. John Walker is right at the back of the file. See in the background there, Milt Ottey waiting for the 5,000-metre runners to go before he takes his jump.
His first attempt then, having seen Parsons go clear. All honours to Jeff Parsons. Milt Ottey's first failure.
I have a feeling, actually, Ron, there, that the high jumpers have got a real problem with the 5,000 metres on, and the high jump in a crucial stage. The 2 boys from Guernsey are a long way back. There are a couple of Africans quite a long way back, and in a short time this field's going to be all the way around the track. So the continuity in the jumping is going to be pretty awkward.
Absolutely, it's a piece of delicate timing, just getting your jump in and your concentration before this puck come round, which are being lifted by this crowd. It's a wave with a wave of enthusiasm as well. But all the principles are together in that pack, and of course everyone waiting to see what's going to unfold after about half a dozen laps in this 5,000 metres. Walker still tracking Steve Ovett at the back, Nat Muir right in the middle. Tim Hutchins not prepared to kick it on yet with Jack Buckner, but all the big names still there, holding, waiting, biding their time, and it really is boiling up to be a cracking race.
The race is being run at the moment at this pace for this man, Steve Ovett, and for John Walker, who's following him. The 2 fastest finishers probably in the field. Tessa Sanderson,
the Olympic champion, in trouble in this competition up until this throw, and that's a big throw. She's back in second, I think. She's behind Fatima but ahead of Sue Howland, and that was the first throw that we've seen of real quality from her.
2 Northern Ireland boys really cutting it out there. McColgan leads. His girlfriend, by the way, is Scotland's Liz Lynch, who took the gold in the 10,000 metres. And now we've got the break, the test we expected now, with Tim Hutchins, the 3H champion, twice the national cross-country champion, 4th in the Olympic 5,000 metres. And did you see the look up there? He was looking, he kicked down the back straight, and he was looking at the big screen, showing coverage of the race, to see what sort of gap he'd got and whether anyone was following. And the answer was a good one for him. He's broken away.
Previously, they'd said on that scoreboard, the one he was looking at, that they were going to cancel the scoreboard as the athletes were facing it. But Tim Hutchins saw it and he used it.
Well, I think they should, because I think if you're running in the lead, you should concentrate on your own race, and you shouldn't have the artificial advantage of the scoreboard to look at. But Tim Hutchins has put his head down. Jack Buckner's followed him. I expected the move to be happening around the 5th, with 5 or 6 laps to go, and we have a race on now. It's not quite a 5,000-metre race, but it's a 2,000-metre race. And Tim Hutchins has now got to concentrate. He's got to drive himself. He's opened up a gap, but Jack Buckner's bringing the group back to him. Ovett in 4th place there, looking quite comfortable. But Walker, John Walker, seems to be struggling right now.
John Walker got caught by the break. And Tessa Sanderson, by the way, 66.30, goes into 2nd place. And that lap there by Hutchins, a 60-second lap, which is really may well have cost Walker a medal. He's so far back. He's back now in 6th place, but he's working his way back into the race. He's such a good finisher, you can't discount him. But really, he's got to work terribly hard now. We've got 4 laps to go. Tim Hutchins leads. Jack Buckner of England in 2nd place. In 3rd place, Paul Williams of Canada, their record holder. And in 4th place, Steve Ovett. And this is all about testing Ovett and testing Walker.
That's right, it is a test now. And Tim Hutchins has just run that 60-second lap, but it's not the 60-second lap that he's got to worry about, it's the one after it, because the 60-second lap will take it out of Tim Hutchins. And you can see Ovett there looking quite comfortable, Paul Williams just ahead of him, and Jack Buckner now starting to close down on Tim Hutchins. And the question is, when they catch him, what's he going to do? Is he going to just let them go straight past him, or is he going to drive on again? And this is the hard part of the race. It's up to Tim Hutchins now to concentrate on keeping that pace going, because he's glancing over his shoulder. I think that 60-second lap hurt him, and I think Buckner is in better shape than Hutchins, because Buckner didn't quite do the 60-second lap. He probably did, 63. And Paul Williams is moving into second place, looking strong. And Ovett's being tested over 5,000 metres. And he's responding to it. He's got no problems there.
Yes, he's got 3 laps to go, and Tim Hutchins has not been able to sustain that challenge. Now, what was needed in there was the sort of Brendan Foster attack that he made on Viren in the European Championships of 1974. A sustained burst of 3 to 4 laps. Buckner did the same thing in Oslo over 3,000 metres when he suddenly ran 4 successive laps in about 60 seconds. It was a brilliant run. It was his last run. But I feel 3,000 is possibly his best distance, and he may not have the mental courage or experience to go from a long way out at 5,000. But he's up there now, moving to 3rd place. But there's no doubt of that lot, it should be Ovett who has the fastest finish. So someone has to do something, and it must be sustained. Hutchins leads, Buckner 2nd, Paul Williams 3rd, Ovett 4th. 3 Englishmen, 1 Canadian.
Well, if Buckner really wants to win this race, he's got to do something now, because they're just over 2 laps from the end, and Steve will be happy when he sees the lap score. He's 800 metres from the end, and he's the 800 metres Olympic champion. So he looks fairly comfortable, but Jack Buckner's got to make a decision. You've got to go for it, Jack, or you're going to let Ovett beat you on the last lap.
Typical expressionless Ovett, a mask of concentration. He really cocoons himself during a race. We've seen it so often at 1,500 metres and 800 metres. Has he got it at 5,000? But these boys are not being able to produce the sustained pressure that might test Ovett to the ultimate. England 1, England 2, England 3, and John Walker back in 5th place, quite a long way behind the leading 4. Paul Williams has now taken it on, so England relegated to 2nd, 3rd and 4th, but Ovett responding now to every challenge, and every stride taking him nearer home must give him more confidence. Tim Hutchins now going with just over 400 metres to go, but surely this is now made for Ovett's finish. The bell, and Hutchins leads. And England 1, 2 and 3. Ovett 2nd, Jack Buckner 3rd, Paul Williams in 4th place. And the 3 Englishmen going away at the moment from the Canadian, who's not finding anything. And Ovett where he likes to be on the last lap, where he's been so often at 1,500 metres in the mile and at 800 metres. He's waiting and waiting and waiting, and he's the master of the timed attack. 200 to go. And usually the sprint is made off the last bend. And if he's feeling happy, he salutes the crowd. Hutchins looks for Ovett, and he's there and gone. The victory wave from Steve Ovett again as he wins his first ever Commonwealth title and wins it